I'm Bob Gallagher, I'm the mayor of the city of Bettendorf. Welcome and thank you all for being here on this very special night for our police department. Thank you to all of you who are here, especially the folks from the fire department, obviously all the police department representatives that are here. We have folks from our Yes for Public Safety Committee here. Thank you for the work that you're doing in our community. Thank you for being here to support our officers tonight. We have some very special awards to present. All the city council is here, all our department heads are here to support those who do such a great job in our community and to say thank you for your heroic acts. With that, I'd like to bring up our Chief of Police, Doug Scott, to say a few words and present these awards. Doug?
Well, thank you all very much for being here tonight. I really appreciate everyone taking the time. I know everybody's very busy, everybody has very busy schedules, but it's very important to us that everybody shows support for us and for our department, and we really appreciate that. I am very honored to be in front of you to be able to deliver these awards tonight. These awards signify incidences and actions that I believe go above and beyond. The courage, the empathy, and selflessness is truly inspiring, and while today we recognize 5 members of the department, I want to point out just a couple things. Not a single one of us does this alone. We're supported and invested in by many people along the way, our family, our teachers, our clergy, our supervisors, our trainers, our fellow officers. So I do want to say thanks to all of you who've invested in all of us and supported us along the way. The second thing is so much great work happens in this city every single day. By our officers, by all the other employees of the city, by all of our, everybody out there, we really appreciate all that. And this job truly is a calling, and each of us has answered that call. While many names may not be called today, I just want everybody to know that our officers each and every day are going out there, they're going the extra mile, they're serving the community, they're trying to keep everyone safe. So again, I want to thank what each of our officers do, the sacrifices they make. They're out and about in the streets when the town is asleep. They're out there on the weekends and the holidays. They're missing important things in their lives, well, so the rest of us can live ours. So with that, today we're going to recognize these five individuals, and it isn't because they were looking for an award. They weren't looking for acknowledgement. They just came to work to do their job, and then these events transpired, and they stepped up to do what needed to happen. So with that, I would like to ask Officer Landry Blunk and Officer Brian Morrisey to come up. So they were involved in an incident together. Landry's going to receive the Combat Cross and the Wounded in Combat Award. Officer Brian Morrisey is going to receive the Wounded in Combat Award. So a little bit about what happened. On May 21st, 2025 at approximately 1:26 hours, officers were dispatched to Cypress Drive in Bettendorf, Iowa regarding a domestic disturbance involving a stabbing. Officers Landry Blunk and Officer Brian Morrisey arrived on scene. Officer Blunk encountered a child in the front doorway, 2 additional children inside the residence, and successfully evacuated all 3 to safety. While securing the children, Officer Blunk heard shouting and the sound of a firearm slide being wrapped in the basement. Acting on this information regarding multiple occupants and a prior stabbing, Officer Blunk opened the basement door, observed a subject holding a handgun. The subject then turned, raised the firearm, fired 2 rounds, striking Officer Blunk in the forearm and the hip. Officer Blunk returned fire, striking the subject and causing the firearm to drop. One of the rounds that struck Officer Blunk also struck Officer Morrisey in the thumb. Officer Blunk exited the residence, administered self-aid, and remained on the scene to direct responding officers and provide guidance. Officer Morrisey, despite injury to his hand, his dominant hand, maintained coverage of the threat with his support hand until officers arrived as reinforcements. Once they secured the scene, Officer Morrisey checked Officer Blunk for injuries and transported both of them to the hospital for medical treatment. The decisive and courageous actions of Officer Blunk and Morrisey neutralized the armed threat and protected all residents present, including multiple children. So with that, for all that you do. do the wounded in combat, and we're going to save the second one. Also the wounded in combat. Can you see with this?
We'll walk in front. There we go.
All right, we're going to move. All right. Give it up for both of these gentlemen. Derrick.
Go back up. You're doubling up. That was for you.
Yes. The combat cross.
Great job.
All right, Officer Derrick Say, please step up. Officer Say will be receiving the Honorable Service Award. On June 26, 2025, at approximately midnight 56 hours, Officer Derrick Say responded to a call on I-74 on the bridge regarding a suicidal female who was threatening to jump. Officer Say promptly arrived in the area and began searching the pedestrian path for her. He successfully located the female and observed that she was in significant distress. Having climbed over the railing, she was clinging to a light post. Officer Say remained calm and maintained continuous, highly effective communication with the female while coordinating with other officers on scene to establish potential life-saving measures. He exhibited exceptional poise, patience, and empathy, connecting with the individual on a personal level through active listening. Through his deliberate and compassionate interventions, and with the assistance of fellow officers, Officer Say was able to convince the female to accept help and safely return over the railing. His professionalism and courageous actions directly contributed to a positive outcome for the individual involved, demonstrating a high level of skill and dedication to preserving life. Good job. Officer Herve Denain. On February 19, 2025, at approximately 5:29 p.m., Officer Denain was on routine patrol in the area of Wilderness Point near Criswell when the dispatch center received a medical call regarding a man down at a nearby address. The call originated from the Scott County Sheriff's Department, and upon arrival, the homeowner reported that a relative had collapsed while skating on a pond in the backyard. Officer Denain, being the closest law enforcement unit, promptly responded to the scene. The location where the individual collapsed was approximately 100 yards from the residence. The ambient outdoor temperature was 7 degrees Fahrenheit. Officer Denain located the male victim in the backyard and immediately assumed CPR compressions from the homeowner. The homeowner was exhausted from priorly performing resuscitation efforts. Thanks to the initial intervention by the homeowner and the continued efforts of Officer Denain, the male victim was successfully revived with the assistance of the Bettendorf Fire personnel. With that, thank you for your honorable service. Lieutenant Zach Thomas, if you please come up. So on October 30th, 2022, at approximately 2:50 in the morning, multiple law enforcement agencies were conducting patrols in the 5200 block of Grand Avenue in Davenport. Officers initiated a traffic stop, however, the vehicle failed to stop, prompting a pursuit. The pursuit concluded when the vehicle crashed near the intersection of Kimberly Road and Elmore Avenue. Sergeant Zach Thomas at the time responded to the scene to provide assistance. The vehicle occupants fled on foot, and during the subsequent foot pursuit, one of the occupants discharged multiple rounds from his firearm towards responding officers. Sergeant Thomas, in conjunction with 5 other officers, fired their weapons, striking the subject and ending the threat to the public. Sergeant Thomas's decisive actions and bravery during this incident were instrumental in neutralizing the threat and ultimately preserving the lives of fellow officers on the scene. So, Lieutenant Thomas is receiving the Combat Cross Award. So with that, I'm going to move and wrap this up. I'd like to point out that significantly prior to this evening, I'm not sure exactly how many decades ago, Councilmember Greg Adamson, seated over there, he was who is now a retired police captain, and responded to a call, and he was injured and broken his arm, and while being attacked, had to shoot his attacker. Unfortunately, this is just something that's going to continue to come up, but the legacy within this organization to do what needs to be done, to come back, to be resilient, is just really remarkable. And for me, I just want to say thank you, Councilmember Adamson, for your service, your sacrifice, and your continued support. I would also like to recognize our mayor and all the council members for all their support, for prioritizing safety in our city. I spoke to Councilmember Baden today. He is unfortunately attending to a personal matter and he wasn't able to make it. He really wanted me to share with all the officers that he wanted to be here, that you were in his thoughts, and that he appreciates everything that you do. I want to thank the community. Without the community, we wouldn't be able to do our jobs. We wouldn't be able to serve each of you. I'd like to thank all the department heads and all the other departments in the city as we stand shoulder to shoulder to keep Bettendorf a premier place to live and work. And I'd like to thank all the families. Thank you for sharing your loved ones with us, supporting them so they can go to work to support their community. We do have some refreshments in the back room back there. Feel free to help yourselves. There's some coffee over here. Please take a moment to just embrace each other. Denise can take some photographs if we would like. And thank you all for coming and being part of this ceremony. So thank you very much.